Mr. Terran, aka the Number Ninja, and today we're looking at rotations and dilations. This is section 12.3 and 12.7. Specifically, this video will be 12.3, which is rotations. This is the third type of transformation in the coordinate plane. The first two were reflection and translations, but again, today we're doing rotations. So let's get it. Your learning target today is identify, draw, and graph rotations. We wrote this on here twice, so that's a typo. Don't worry about that. But a rotation, what is it? Well, no, or another word for that, well, it's just kind of like a spin, right? Or I think of like the blades on a fan, like they spin around a point, something like that. Should the figure change shape? No, it'll stay the same shape, but it's just rotating around. It's spinning around a fixed point. All right. So, like we did with the other videos, we want to look at some examples of rotations and understand what they are before we get into the coordinate plane. If we look at A here, does it look like it rotates at all from one way to another? I don't think so. It looks like really it's a reflection, so that's not going to work. But B right here, that looks like a rotation. It looks like it's gone this way, right? It looks like it's got about this point, right? It's gone rotated. Same with this one right here. It looks like, depending on which one started first, the pre-image or the image, the blue or the red. But yeah, that's rotating. So I think B is a rotation and D is a rotation. C is not, A is not, right? This looks like a translation. Okay. So there's two different types of rotations you're going to learn about in this chapter. One is a 90-degree rotation, and what's happening is it's going to take some sort of point right here, and it will always rotate it 90 degrees this direction. Okay, this direction. And so when we do that, your rule that happens is if your original or your pre-image coordinate is at x comma y, your new image will be at negative y comma x. Again, it's just another rule for you to have in your pocket, so when you're doing these, you're just basically swapping around numbers and signs and stuff like that. So if I have 3 comma negative 2 and I want to apply this rule, well, it looks like we're switching x and y, and the x is not changing. So this is my x here, so that's going to be over here. And my y is, the sign is opposite. So if that was negative 2, this should be positive 2. And that would be the coordinates for a rotation 90 degrees about the origin. Let's look at this one right here. Well, again, my x coordinate here is not changing. It's just swapping places. And my y coordinate is just the opposite. Well, the opposite of 0 is just 0, so don't have to worry about that. Again, here, the x is just moving, it's just swapping places. And then my y is going, if it's negative, it's going to change to opposite, which is positive. All right. And that's pretty much the rule that you're going to need to know for a 90-degree rotation. If you have a 180-degree rotation, that means it's basically clear on the other side of the coordinate plane. And all that happens here is our x's and our y's just change to negative x's, negative y's, or basically opposite. So if you had a negative, it's going to turn to a positive. If you have a positive, it's going to turn into a negative. So this one should be pretty straightforward. So if I have positive 3, negative 2, that's just going to be negative 3, positive 2. If I have positive 2, that's going to be negative 2, and the opposite of 0 is just 0. We know that. And lastly, if I have negative 1, that's going to change to positive 1. Negative 6 is going to change to positive 6. So just changing the signs to the opposite. That's all it is, opposite signs for 180 degrees. All right. We got a couple more examples here. So now, again, we're going to follow the same 3 rules we do. We're going to plot our pre-image here. We're going to use our rule to come up with our new coordinates, and then we're going to plot our image. So let's go ahead, for consistency's sake, let's go ahead and plot our pre-image in red. So J is at 2, 2, let's do this. That looks good right there. So 2 comma 2. So right there is J. K is at 4, -5. So down here, K, 4, -5. And then L will be at -1, 6. So 1, 1. Oh, dang, it's going to be a little bit off the graph here, but that will be okay. So maybe about right there will be L. Just above 5, so if we were to just continue that, maybe a 6 is up there somewhere. 180 degrees, so 180 degrees was just, if we remember the rule, it was just opposite signs. So this is going to be, let's change this to pink. It's just going to be -2, -2. This is going to be -4, +5, and +1, -6. So let's plot those. So J prime at -2, -2, right there. J prime. K prime at -4, 5. So right up here is K prime. And L prime at 1, -6 is going to be right down here. L prime. And you know what? I forgot to connect my dots. So let's just do that right now. It was JKL. So there's 1. So this is a really, really obtuse triangle. And so now reflected at 180 degrees, or sorry, not reflected, but rotated, it will look like this. All right, not too bad. I'm gonna kind of nerd out here, and it looks almost like I've been getting into a Star Wars thing lately, but it almost looks like the TIE Fighter wings. But anyway, here we go. Let's rotate one by 90 degrees. So again, the first thing, let's go ahead and plot our pre-image here. So A is at 2, -1. B is at 4, 1. And C is at 3, 3. So let's connect our lines. And now let's use our rule for our rotation here. And I think, I think X swapped over into the Y coordinate. I think the Y coordinate turned opposite. Let's just double check. Yep. X moved to Y, and the Y coordinate just opposite. So we got that right on the money there. Let's use that to help us figure out our new coordinates. Let's go back to pink. That was a good color. So the X, this X coordinate is now going to be in the Y, and my Y coordinate is just going to be opposite. So -1 will change to +1. Same thing here. The 4 will go there. This will go to -1. 3 will come over there, and that'll go to -3. All right, so let's plot this. So A prime is at 1, 2. So right there's A prime. B prime is at -1, 4. And C prime is at -3, 3. We'll connect our dots. That's it. And that looks pretty good. 90 degrees, right? So we've gone from here kind of to here. All right. Okay. All right. So that's pretty much everything for rotations. 90 degrees and 180 degrees. That's what we're going to be dealing with in this chapter. So that's installment number 3 out of the 4 videos on transformations. Remember, the first video was reflections. The second one was translations. This is rotations. That's all I got for all of y'all right now. Looking forward to rocking with you one more time for dilations on the next video. If you have any questions, please, again, make sure you're reaching out to your teachers. That's all I got. Taryn out.